Hey guys, it's Mrs. Horn. Welcome to your Circle Vocabulary Station. You're going to need the following items, your Circle Vocabulary recording sheet and a pencil or something to write with. And basically we're going to go through and identify the different parts of a circle. Okay, so a circle is the set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a given point called the center. Okay, so the center is that dot that you see in the middle with the arrow pointing down. Infinitely many points make a circle. Okay, so the center is directly in the middle of the circle. You need to go ahead and fill in those blanks, and you need to label the center on your notes page. And feel free to pause, rewind, whatever you need to make sure you get these notes. Do what you need. I'm going to move on. Okay, so another thing we have is diameter. Okay, a diameter is a line segment that passes through the center of the circle and whose endpoints lie on the circle, as you can see from the picture. A circle has infinitely many diameters, and all of them are the same length. So basically, doesn't matter where the diameter is, as long as it's going through the center of the circle and its endpoints lie on that circle. It could be horizontally across the center, it could be vertically, it could be a diagonal, as long as it's through the center and along each of the ends of the circle. So here's the center, so it has to go from here through the center to the other edge. Or it could start here and go this way all the way across that way. Okay, so make sure you label diameter on your image and make sure you fill in those blanks. Okay. Now, I'm going to transition to this so I can show you slide 4. A radius is a line segment with one endpoint at the center of the circle and the other endpoint on the circle. So you see that by looking right here. Here's your radius. Right here. Here's your center to the edge. That is your radius. A circle has infinitely many radii that are all the same length. So what that means is if I get a blue pen and I go from the center here and out, that is also a radius. I could go from the center here and go out that way. That also represents the radius. Okay. In a given circle, 2 radii, that's plural for radius, equal 1 diameter. So what do I mean by that? That means if I have my diameter that goes through the center from edge to edge, let's say that's my diameter, that means I'm going to have exactly, and I'll put a different color here. Let's say that that's my center. I'm going to have 2 radii that make up that diameter. So for example, let's say that this is a diameter. I say diameter equals 10. That means each section or my radius is going to have to be half of that because 2 of them make it up. So 5 would have to be here, and that would represent my radius because if I take 5 and then I take another 5 for this section, it's going to get me 10. So my diameter is 10, but my radius is 5. Make sure you have your blanks filled in, and then make sure you have radius labeled on your image. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next slide. Okay, and last but not least is circumference. So when we talk about circumference, circumference is the distance around a circle. So in elementary school or maybe even 6th grade, you talked about perimeter. Okay, circumference is the word we use for the perimeter of a circle. So circumference is just around the shape. Oops, there it goes. Okay, so when we talk about the distance around the circle, we're talking about circumference. Make sure you fill that in and make sure you label on your image circumference. You can either write it like they have pictured, or you can just write circumference and draw an arrow. And go ahead, and if you need to pause or rewind to get any of those circle vocabulary, again, go ahead and do so now. And then last but not least, you need to make sure you have all of this filled out and plugged in into the blanks, okay? And then you'll need, your teacher should have supplies for you to place the circle vocabulary in your spiral or your composition notebook. You need to make sure you title it circles, right here, says circles. And then you need to make sure you have your notes in your spiral or composition book. Okay, that's just a brief intro into the parts of a circle. Again, as I've said, if you need to rewatch this video, go ahead, but make sure you get this in your notebook before you move to your next station. Have a great day.